Welcome to the Otsumami Party Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm Saya.
We both grew up in different countries. Where are you from, Saya?
I'm from Japan. Where are you from, Ian?
I'm from the US. In this podcast, we'll discuss fun little interesting things about vastly different cultures, daily lives living in different cities, and other fun, interesting topics.
During our time together, we invite you to grab some otsumami or finger food of your own and join us for a fun, cozy time. Enjoy!
Once upon a time, there was a boy and a girl. They met, and years later, they decided to start a podcast. A podcast that would change the course of human history. A podcast that talks about the course of human history. A podcast that is really random and does not change the course of human history. A podcast that is on episode 5. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Otsumami Party episode 5.
Yeah, what you doing? It was so random. It was the random thing ever.
It was the best intro the Otsumami Party has ever had.
Okay, well, let us know, everybody. What did you think about that?
Guys, don't forget to email us at otsumamiparty@gmail.com and tell us what you think of our...
Yeah, we've been waiting for your comments.
Tell us what you think. Say hi.
Yeah.
Let's get some interaction going. So, what's up, Saya?
What's up? I'm just drinking gin and tonic.
Oh, yeah? Are
Yeah.
you eating anything?
I'm just still eating the chips and salsa.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I think I mentioned it in last episode or...
Yeah, it was like, what, Hatch chili?
Yeah, the salsa, but I still have a huge, bag of chips because the Costco ones are like huge.
Yeah.
It said 3 pounds.
3 pounds? That's really heavy.
It is.
What the heck?
I mean, it's not heavy, but, it's a lot.
I need to get some chips. I haven't had chips in quite a while, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I just don't usually have it as part of my everyday grocery run list.
I mean, me neither, but sometimes, I really crave, and then at the time I was at Costco, and I only got the Costco size chips,
Yeah. If I get chips, it's usually, Doritos. I really love Doritos.
Oh, yeah, I know you love
the red
Doritos. Mm-hmm.
The red Doritos are my favorite. I don't like the blue ones very much. I do like the spicy Doritos.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
The red ones?
They're purple.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a sweet chili kind, and then there's a really spicy one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I get chips, it's usually that.
Mm-hmm.
But today I do not have chips. I have cheese and grapes.
That's nice.
And I'm drinking rum.
Nice.
In a Texas double shot glass that's in the shape of a mason jar.
Yeah, that's a cute one.
We like to collect shot glasses from every state that we go to.
Right. Yeah, it's really cool.
What have you been up to?
Today I'm just chilling, but on Friday I was at the field trip, work-related field trip.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I've rode on a yellow school bus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was my very first time. So I was very excited. I wasn't sure if it's gonna be the yellow school bus, but the tour guide, the tour emails says we will get on the school bus and let's go blah blah blah, So I wasn't 100% sure, but I was a little excited for it because I've never rode on it.
Yeah.
And so I was telling my colleagues, hey, are we really, getting on the yellow bus today? And then I guess so. I heard somebody making an appointment for that. So
yeah.
And then they seemed a little confused by me asking that, and then telling them, hey, yeah, I'm excited because it's my first time. And then I've been telling people when I got on, and then everybody was like, "Oh, really? Like, wow!" Because
Yeah.
yeah. But I was like, "Of course not. I didn't grow up in the States."
Well, it's such like an everyday thing for us.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like I rode one every single day from like the age of 5 until 18. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, like it's such a common thing for us to do here for like grades 1 through 12 that I didn't even think of it as like a cool, fun
Yeah.
American thing to do.
Yeah, like it's just like, I've been seeing those like in cartoons or like dramas, and so it's like it's embedded in my like knowledge, but I've never tried, I didn't have a chance to try.
Have you seen the cartoon, The Magic School Bus?
I don't think so, no.
I'm going to show you the trailer right now.
Okay.
One eternity later.
You know what?
What?
I might have seen it actually after watching the trailer.
No way.
Like there's a one episode like it showed up in the trailer as well, but like going inside of the body, like in the blood flow and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I've watched it,
Oh my gosh.
but I don't know why. I don't know when. I have no idea, but I remember like the bus going really tiny and then like go inside of somebody's body and then like, going through like everywhere in the body.
Yeah, it was really funny because somebody, on TikTok they make theories about everything.
Make what about everything?
Theories about everything. It's always like, are they really dead? And then they like start talking about the reasons why. And they kind of did that with the Magic School Bus, but with doppelgangers.
Okay.
And it was something with the redheaded kid, not Miss Frizzle, but I think his name is like Charlie or something like that. But anyway, a redheaded kid with glasses, like apparently like he died and like something happened. There's like a secret that they can't say, and it was like really well like put together. But I think it's ridiculous to like go through that kind of theory for something like the Magic School Bus.
Right.
It was really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to watch that a lot as a kid.
It's cool. The one of the things that I found really funny / ridiculous / I don't know in the bus was like there was no seat belt, and my colleagues and I were talking, like sitting next to each other, and like since I told her that it's my first time and like excited, she was like, well, so like this one doesn't have a seat belt, so like for us as a kid, it's like a like a kind of excited thing, and I was like, oh yeah, that's true, but like the seat was pretty comfy than I thought.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty fluffy, like a nice comfy seat.
Yeah,
kinda.
it's not uncomfortable, but so I think there are seatbelts. There was one video I saw where they're like hidden. Like if you like reach behind something and like move something, there are seatbelts technically.
Really?
But yeah, I never saw them as a kid.
I mean, like even as an adult, I didn't see anything.
I haven't ridden one since I was in school.
I was like, that's like so true, but like why? Because especially it's like bus for the kids, they should have seatbelts.
Well, I mean, the city bus doesn't have seatbelts.
That's true, but it was like quite bumpy, and I felt like it could be something argued, for a long time or something, because everybody cares about like children's safety all the time.
Yeah, right.
And like I feel like in the States especially, like people has like a very different kinds of like thoughts and opinions, and like they just do a lot of movements and stuff, I feel like. So
yeah,
I felt like something could have happened before.
Funny story. So I lived in a school district that was huge.
Okay.
So a lot of the time I would get on the bus, there would be just so many kids. And usually we would sit 3 people to a booth.
Okay.
Okay, so about 3 kids can fit in there. But I had one bus driver who would make us sit 4 people to a booth.
Wow.
and some of us would be like our butts would halfway be in the aisle, and like
yeah.
and it's funny because I had some really great bus drivers, and then I had some really terrible bus drivers. So the scariest thing for a kid is to be on a bus and miss their stop.
Oh.
You know, like we didn't think that the buses were driven by human beings and could just drop us off again. We thought it was like a train, you know, like you miss your stop, you're done for.
Oh, that's interesting.
You know, and so one time I missed my stop and I started crying. And the bus driver was a mean guy.
Oh.
He was like old and like overweight, and like he had really short hair and like was really mean to us. And so I was crying and I told him that I missed my stop, and he was like, well, you got to sit here. I was like, okay. And so I started sitting, but I was crying. He was taking me back to my house after he dropped all the other kids off.
Oh, okay.
And I was crying, and I was like sitting up on the edge of my seat, right, with my hands on the back of the seat in front of me. And I was like crying and looking in the mirror, and he goes, you better not be kneeling on my seats.
What?
And I was like, I'm not, I'm just sitting up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some of those guys were not very nice.
How old were you when it happened?
Oh, I was in like kindergarten or first grade.
Oh.
I was really young.
Yeah. In Japan, like I think like some kindergarten has bus. But I've never used because I lived really close to those schools. And then like for elementary school, usually you need to walk to the school. And for junior high and high schools, usually like if you go to the public school, usually it's a district based.
Okay.
So you can walk to there or bike to there. But the school I went for junior high was like public, but almost like a private a little bit. Like it's national level. Like it's connected to the local university. So it was a little different. And then people, like students were coming all over the city or like all over the prefecture. So outside of the district. So people were like using the trains or buses, you know. So like some of them were like using the buses and trains since they were in elementary school. Like a public transportation.
I also read online that kids in Japan are a lot more, like there are a lot more kids going out on their own, walking to and from places.
Yeah.
And you're going to laugh at this. I teared up at this statement, but because, you know, I'm a teacher. You know, what I do is I take care of children and I teach children, and I've, you know, want children to succeed in life.
Yeah.
But the statement that made me tear up was that somebody said the words, Japanese people find it their responsibility to take care of the children and foster the new generation of Japan.
Like you mean like the local people, like responsibility, like not only the family but also the people in the area.
Yeah. Like to take care of the children walking around. Yeah, the community, I thought that was really beautiful, because like if a child goes to for example, in Philadelphia, you know, if a child walks down the street to the store, like it's dangerous.
Right.
You know, they can get kidnapped. They can, you know, there's not that kind of responsibility here. I mean, maybe within a neighborhood, but even then, like nowadays people don't talk, you know, but in Japan, it's like, you know, kind of an understood thing for the culture. And I thought that was really beautiful. And like, it made me tear up because I care about children so much, you know, it's my job.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, I think like it's a little changing, but yeah, the foundation of our like understanding is just like that. It might be different if you go a really big city. You
know, I'm sure that it changes depending on where you are. I'm sure there are exceptions, but like the overall, you know, like if you think of Japan, it's like taking care of children. Yeah. Like overall.
Yeah, that's true.
And the fact that you were able to take public transit
That's true.
to school
Yeah.
and
I mean, yeah, obviously there's some, sometimes things happens, but basically you're safe.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that's true. Yeah. But going back to the point that I was saying,
Sorry.
I was like, no, it's all right. So I went to the junior high school that needed to use a bus or bike.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually use bikes, but sometimes, my mom drove me to school, or most of the time. And on the way back, because I was so sleepy in the morning and I couldn't have enough time to go by bike.
You're so sleepy all the time.
Yeah.
It's your life.
Yeah. I was very spoiled, I guess. Well, so on the way back, sometimes I take buses, and it's because it's just different times. I just didn't know when I got home, like after the classes, I might have to talk to friends or teacher or whatever, and I could go back to this, I could take a bus with my friends, so I used to do that. But like I was 13, when it just like got into school, and it was almost like my first time taking a bus by myself on the way back. And I needed to make sure which bus goes to my closest bus stop.
Yeah.
Right. And then I asked the driver, saying like my area of my neighborhood, hey, like, is this bus goes to this area? And he said yes. And then so I wrote on it, and then I was like sitting. So in my mind, in my 13 years old mind, the area should have the, my only bus stop that I can think of, right? But it's, it goes through the area, but like it doesn't have to go to my like certain one bus stop that I think of. So there was a misunderstanding, and I was waiting for the bus stop that I think of come. And I was like, like it's close to the area. I recognize some places, but like, I was like, like, where's my stop? It's not coming yet. And then like, I feel like it's passes through the where, I live. But I really believe the driver. Yeah. I didn't ask him again or anything. I was like, well, he said it will go to the area. So we will come to the point, or like the bus will circle back at some point and goes to my bus stop. So I was like getting a little like, anxious, but I believed him so much. So I stayed in the bus all the way, and then eventually the bus went to the bus parking lot, like the very last stop.
You were still there?
And then I was like, oh no, it's just definitely not the place that I wanted to be. And it seems like the very last place, because I saw like many other buses parked there, I was like, oh no. And then like the bus driver didn't even think I was still there,
Yeah.
Because it's the very last one. But when he get out, like he noticed, because like I was just right behind him. At the seat.
You're like, excuse me,
there.
Where's my stop?
Yeah, but like, I was 13, I was like so anxious and like, I wasn't outgoing at all. I was like half crying, almost like, where's the stop? Where was my stop? And he was like, well, this is the last one. Like, he was mean or anything, but like, he was like, well, this is the last one. Where did you want it to go? And they're like, well, my house is this, and I wanted to stop here. This bus stop. And then, oh, okay, well, like, we'll wait here, and then it will come, like, the bus number, blah, blah, and it goes to this place. So you can take that one, and then it goes to this one. And, that's your stop. So I was like, okay, I was like so sad and miserable. And it was, like it's, sunset, the dawn. And like it's getting dark outside. And the area was like close to the like a manufacturer area, like close to the ocean, and like so it looks really dark to me.
Yeah.
With like some smokes coming out, And I was like so sad and like I don't know like if I can go home today. Of course you can, but like I was like
it's like
so
it's like the thought process that like it's like a train, like like there's no human is operating it. You have to be where it goes.
I know. So I was like half crying, but like I couldn't do anything, and I think I should have had cell phone by then, or maybe not. I don't know, but well, eventually I got on a bus that the driver suggested, and I took that and I went home, and it was fine, but when I got to my house, my mom opened the door because I lived in the like a tall apartment, a skyscraper kind of. So like there's two doors and like main gate. Like I needed to call my mom, and then like she gonna open the door. And then I went upstairs and then opened my door, and then I took on my shoes and I get on and then going through the kitchen and almost telling my mom like how crazy my journey was today. And then my grandma suddenly appeared from the like corner of the like room, like surprising me, like ta-da, like hey Saya, and like so she was actually visiting, but like didn't let me know, because they thought it could be a good surprise for me. But I was like really sad day, on the way back. So it's like almost tearing up and almost telling my mom that how, I couldn't get a bus and I couldn't get off the right place.
Yeah.
And then grandma came out. I was like just surprised and everything happened. My emotion broke and then like I was just busted out. The grandma was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. But it was just, your story reminded me of that. But you were kindergarten, that's cute. I was 13. That isn't cute as much, but.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah, I was like, I used to live like, before going to that junior high, I lived in really rural areas. And, my school was still in the rural, but like in the center city. So like everything was kind of new to me. So I was like so nervous and anxious. But yeah, well, that's my bus in the school time story.
Oh my gosh, thank you for sharing. That's so funny. It's like, I think it should stop there.
Yeah. Nowadays, so like I really don't know why I was so, couldn't do anything. But yeah,
we are young. Things happen.
Yeah, we were young. That's how you learn.
But now you are like the queen of public transportation.
Not really. I still get confused in Tokyo, but
well, you knew all about it, like in Oregon,
right?
And
That's
in New Mexico.
Yeah.
You would always like tell me, it's like, of course it does this, man. And I'm like, well, I don't know. And you're like,
no. Yeah. Well, now I experience American transportations and Japanese transportations.
Okay. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and tell me the word that you want to teach me today?
Yeah. Today I have a fun word called betsubara.
It's what?
Betsubara.
Betsubara.
Yeah. Betsubara. Betsubara. So that means, betsu means like separate.
Okay.
Bara is coming from the hara, which means your belly or stomach, that kind of area.
Okay.
So it technically means another or like separated stomach. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like for desserts or something.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, usually like girls like says like I'm so full, but like if you bring the dessert menu to her, like she'll be like, oh, I'm gonna get the cake or I'm gonna get the tiramisu or whatever, and they're like, why? Like you just said you're full. Well, that dessert is a bit bara. That's how he is it.
Do you want to hear what my grandma told me?
Yeah.
So my mom, when she was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
was eating a lot for dinner. And
Okay.
my grandma comes out with dessert. And instead of like, oh, my second stomach, she was like, oh, I'm so full. And then my grandma goes, so you don't want ice cream? And my mom said, well, my backside isn't full yet.
That's so cute.
Yeah. My backside isn't full yet. So that's Betsubara.
Right.
So my word is silly sounding, and it's called hula baloo.
Hula baloo.
Yeah, Hullabaloo. Hula baloo.
Hula baloo.
And it's basically a clamorous noise or disturbance.
Okay. Could you give me some examples?
Yes, I can. And I think you'll like this example.
Okay.
There was a huge hullabaloo in the office when everyone found out about the surprise bonuses.
Oh.
So it's like like loud uproar. Like, yeah!
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Hula baloo.
Yeah. So there's another word that means like hullabaloo, but like musicians use it when talking about dissonance and like really clashing noise, and it's called cacophony. So I'm guessing that hullabaloo is more of like a fun, light-hearted version of cacophony.
I see.
Like cacophony is more like serious, like a cacophony of the city or a cacophony of sounds when, something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Hullabaloo is more lighthearted, I think.
Hula baloo.
Hullabaloo.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tap into my inner Betsubara
Okay.
and eat some more grapes.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you for the word.
Thank you. In 1866, an American pharmacist named John Pemberton was trying to create a painkiller. Pemberton had been gravely injured in the Civil War and developed a morphine dependency that he hoped to cure by inventing an effective opiate-free alternative.
Okay.
His first product, which called Pemberton's French wine coca, was a combined alcohol with leaves from cocaine-containing coca plants and cola nuts, and which contains stimulating caffeine. His French wine was popular, but when the temperance movement took hold in his home state of Georgia in 1886, he had to develop an alcohol-free alternative. He substituted sugar syrup for wine, and while tinkering with the formula, he accidentally mixed his concoction with carbonated water. After tasting it, he decided to market the beverage as a fountain drink instead of medication, naming it
Coca-Cola.
Yes, Coca-Cola after its original ingredients. One of the most popular soft drinks in the world, also has one of the unique, unusual histories. Unfortunately, Pemberton's health worsened, as did his morphine dependency, and he died in poverty just 2 years after his invention. By then, he had sold his share to his business partner, Arthur Gregg Scandler, who turned Coca-Cola into one of the most successful companies in the country.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's so cool.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Did you know that Coca-Cola used to be a painkiller?
No,
like...
I do know that they used to have cocaine in it, but...
I didn't think in that way.
Yeah, a painkiller. But... Interesting. And wine as well.
Right.
Or what's your favorite soda?
Well, I usually goes with Sprite.
With Sprite, so not Coca-Cola.
I love Coca-Cola too, but I feel like I goes to Sprite more often than Coke. I don't know why.
Okay, so for me, driving home after a long day and stopping by a gas station to get a big old jug of Coca-Cola, like nothing beats that refreshness.
I can see that. Yeah.
Like if I have a really long day,
Mm-hmm.
there's a gas station that's just off the highway on my way home,
Mm-hmm.
and I always go by there and get like Coca-Cola or like
Mm.
something like that, and it's always so refreshing, especially in the summer.
Mm.
It's like Coca-Cola and a hot dog and
Very good. Let me go through a little bit more of the history about the Coca-Cola in Japan, because there's some Japanese listeners to it too, right? So in Japan, Coca-Cola was firstly introduced in 1910s Taisho period, and named of the Coca-Cola is found in a poem by a famous Japanese poet, Kotaro Takamura. And it goes, Coca-Cola, thank you very much, Ginza, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, and Owaricho. And then go through Coca-Cola one more glasses. So, like, it's the Ginza is a famous area, like in Tokyo, like famous for luxury shopping and upscale dining and entertainment. So it shows like the modernism of like Coca-Cola, like something imported from outside, and also those like areas in Tokyo. And I also found this interesting that you may not know because it's a Japanese author and novelist, but so the famous author Ryunosuke Akutagawa in Japanese. Do you know him? Have you heard? No. But his name is very popular in Japan. Like you need to read his stuff in your high school Japanese classes. That kind of famous.
I see.
So he wrote a letter to a novelist Mosaku Sasaki in 1925 and talking about like he doesn't drink alcohol, but instead like he has like oolong tea, goes to cafe, like Coca-Cola and chocolate. Like so he mentions the Coca-Cola the thing, and I found it like I just didn't know how old the Coca-Cola was in Japan as well. So I found it like really interesting.
Yeah.
And so like it used to be an imported thing in Japan.
I see.
But after the World War II, the Coca-Cola Export Corporation, who were like going through all over the world to get more like access to the Coca-Cola all over the world, came to Japan as well. And then from 1946, the bottling manufacturer established in Japan, and they started selling the Coca-Cola made in Japan all over Japan, like in 1949.
I see.
So we call in Japanese Coca-Cola as cola, so we take the cola part. But here we say Coke, right?
Coke.
Do you know the Coca-Cola, the company, once tried to dissuade that to being called Coke?
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because of cocaine?
Probably. I couldn't find the original like source of the why they started to call it Coke, but it says it was like evolved in the early time of Coca-Cola history. So I couldn't find the exact date or anything, but it used to be a nickname and starting in the early history. So the Coca-Cola company wasn't very happy about the being called Coke for some reason. In 1913, the company actually created an advertising campaign to dissuade people from using nickname Coke. The campaign theme was Coca-Cola, ask for it by its full name, then you will get the genuine. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
So clearly Coca-Cola featured the short nickname would erode its unique brand identity and it could quite possibly lead to generic trademark. In other words, the company worried that Coke could become the catch-all word for any soft drink.
So in America, we have like 3 different words that we use for soft drinks. So we have Coke. Like some people use Coke to mean like encompass all of them.
Right. Yeah.
We have soda and we have pop.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's what I found when I was learning English one time. And then, we were in the class with American teachers, and one of them said, like, I call it pops. And then, like, the other one said, like, I call it soda. And then we were like, which is the one?
Yeah. I've always called it soda. There's one time I was a kid, and I was at a restaurant, and the waitress goes, "And what about you? What do you want to drink?" I said, "I just want a soda." And she looks at me and goes, "What kind?" And I was like, oops. And I meant to say Coke.
Right.
And also the difference between Coke and Pepsi.
That's true.
You know, it's like, what do you want to drink? And I would say Coke, and they'd say, is Pepsi okay?
Right. That's kind of interesting. Yeah. If you say soda in Japanese, I think people will give you Mitsuya soda, basically, which is like very similar to Sprite, I think. But it's very Japanese, like company thing. But it's very big, like almost as big as Coke, I think, in Japan.
Oh, interesting. I'll have to try it someday.
Right, yeah. But like, it's kind of interesting now to think. I've never seen that in any Asian market, I think.
The Japanese?
Yeah, the soda. Mitsuya soda.
Here in the States.
Here in the States, yeah.
Yeah.
It's everywhere in Japan. And then we have ramune in Asian market.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've never seen that Mitsuya cider. Oh. I wonder why. They just never export.
Maybe we can order online.
Maybe. We could see.
Yeah, let's see.
Well, so going back, but the company, the Coca-Cola company, finally gave up about being called a Coke. And they started to embrace it instead of saying no to Coke.
Oh, interesting.
Have you seen the character Sprite Boy in the Coca-Cola commercials? Maybe you could look it up.
Yeah, let me look it up really quick.
One eternity later.
No.
Yeah, it looks very old.
He looks scary. Oh my gosh. What
know.
the heck? Like, I swear, if I wake up at 2 a.m. tonight and I see this boy looking at me,
oh yeah,
I'm blaming you.
Hey, it's not me. You gotta blame the Coca-Cola.
I'm telling him, go to Saya's house.
Go back to Coca-Cola. That's the way you say it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
But the Sprite Boy was introduced in 1942, and that was created for a advertising character. It's not about sprites actually, but the mascot was illustrated by Hudson Sandblom. He is the artist who wrote the Coca-Cola Santa Claus.
Oh.
Yeah. But he also wrote this Sprite mascot, and it was designed to look like an elf or a little pixie, like to help the Santa Claus. And so it was like he wore the Coca-Cola bottle cap as a hat.
I see.
At the beginning. The Sprite Boy, as I said, was not connected to the lemon lime soft drink of the same name. As a matter of fact, Sprite Boy was created and retired long before Sprite, the drink, was introduced. So yeah, it was very different. But the purpose of the Sprite Boy was remind people that Coke and Coca-Cola were the same thing. The print ad would show the Sprite Boy peeking around the bottle of Coca-Cola, and you can feel how much the company was struggling with that nickname. As even the headline were awkward. It says, one Sprite Boy ad says, "Hello, I'm Coca-Cola, known to as Coke."
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I know. Like it's. Yeah, I just can see that how much they really try.
Yeah.
To Coca-Cola equals to Coke.
I wonder why they were so... Like, I mean, I get the comparison between Coke and cocaine. Mm-hmm. But, like, Coca-Cola, like, the reason why it's shortened is because Coke is a heck of a lot easier to say than Coca-Cola or Coca.
Right.
You know, like, just say Coke.
I know. Yeah, I've been like looking through why who started to say Coke, or like why they didn't like Coke. And I couldn't find the exact one that I can trust as a source, but some of them saying like Coca-Cola was shortened in the ad for the newspaper and it became Coke. Or like cocaine, like people call cocaine as Coke, like for short. So maybe like that's basically it. But I just thought like it's very interesting, like how much they try really hard.
Yeah.
Back in time.
I want to show you an ad between Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Speaking of trying really hard. So what essentially it is Pepsi made an ad to bash Coca-Cola.
Okay.
And Coca-Cola came and used that same ad, changed the word as a comeback. And let me show this to you.
One eternity later.
So in the first one, it's a Pepsi can with a Coca-Cola covering on it. And it says, "We wish you a scary Halloween."
Oh.
implying that Coca-Cola is the scary costume that Pepsi is wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And then Coca-Cola comes in and with the same image of the Pepsi can wearing the Coca-Cola costume, the Coca-Cola costume looks like a cape. And so they changed the caption, "We wish you a scary Halloween," and changed it to "Everybody wants to be a hero," implying Coca-Cola is the hero that Pepsi wants to be.
Right. Wow.
That's such a good comeback.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, that's a far cry from grab a Coca-Cola, also known as Coke.
I know.
Period. You know, it's like, what? Okay.
That's so funny, actually. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's a Olympic season that happening in Paris right now. But the Coca-Cola was the very first ever Olympic sponsor.
Oh, that's cool. I
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, beginning its sponsorship at the Summer Games hosted in Amsterdam in 1928. And the picture is a Coca-Cola store at the Wembley Stadium, London, during the Olympic Games in August 1948.
I see.
Yeah. And I think I may have told you before, but it's kind of famous story that Coca-Cola in Mexico is a little different.
Yeah.
The Mexican Coca-Cola using the cane sugar instead of like normal sugar, so that tasted a little different. And the Coca-Cola's largest fan base is in Mexico, actually.
I see.
And the average person in Mexico drinks more than 700 servings per year.
Oh my gosh.
I know, that's crazy, right? So that's nearly double what American drinks. And the popularity began around the same time that Coca-Cola sponsored the Mexico City Olympics and the World Cup in the early 1970s. So I guess their advertisement goes really well. Because like 700 servings per year means like you drink the Coca-Cola like almost like 2 times a day.
Yeah.
Or like,
for me, it's like once every few months.
Right. Yeah. Have you had the Mexican Coca-Cola before?
Yeah. So you said that Mexican Coca-Cola is cane sugar and American is like regular sugar.
Yeah.
But the Mexican is cane sugar, as you said, but the American one uses what's called high fructose corn syrup.
Oh, okay.
Instead of sugar.
Okay.
And that is a sweetener that's used in a lot of things that's like really fattening and really bad for you.
Sounds like it.
Sounds very American, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of like American drinks, like pre-made drinks might have high fructose corn syrup or like sweetened things from like American stores. Like that usually has high fructose corn syrup and it's really, really bad for you. And so the cane sugar in the Mexican Coca-Cola gives it like a more natural flavor instead of the chemical flavor that you get from regular Coca-Cola in American stores. So, it's not so much regular sugar, it's more the high fructose corn syrup that Mexican Coca-Cola is like so different from.
That makes sense, actually. I had one recently. I just randomly found it in Walmart and I was like, oh, this is the Mexican one, and I just got it. Yeah, it tasted very different. Like tasted really good. It's more like, I don't know, a little
I prefer it.
complicated or like a little different flavors to it.
Yeah, for me it's less complicated. It tastes more like more like you can distinguish the flavors in it rather than the American one. It tastes like just sugary syrup.
That's so true. Like sometimes like I left Coke or any kinds of like those beverages, like without putting the lid on, the cap on. And then like I just came back and drink it and I feel like it's so like uncarbonated that makes it like really just like a sweetened water. And I was like,
Yeah, right.
Like it just feels like really unhealthy.
Right. And flat Coca-Cola is like, at least the flat American Coca-Cola is like the worst. I'm sure flat Mexican Coca-Cola is not great either, but I'm sure it's much better than the one with high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, well, we should be a little healthy maybe, but Coca-Cola is such a I feel like unhealthy thing sometimes makes you feel more delicious. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's a reason why American is the way that we are. Like you go to a county fair in America.
Yeah.
And you get like deep fried everything. Sorry, as we learned in episode 1, French fried everything.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like you get French fried ice cream.
Right.
Or I mean, sorry, deep fried ice cream. And sorry, that was an honest to God accident. Sorry. Deep fried ice cream and deep fried Oreos and deep fried snickerdoodles and stuff like that, you know, because it tastes so dang good.
I know.
I wish my heart wouldn't cry after eating those.
Yeah.
And it's the same with high fructose corn syrup. I mean, like, I'm sure there's some... So the reason why a lot of American foods are really unhealthy is because of the preservatives in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because what American stores are more interested in is making money and having products that last longer.
Right.
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And so because of that, you know, I'm sure that high fructose corn syrup has some preservative natures in it. But it tastes good.
It does. It does.
You know, like the high fructose corn syrup tastes good in a lot of things. You know, like I really like the taste. But, you know, what I read about the American cola versus Mexican cola being, you know, tasting different in that the American is more chemical tasting. Like, that's true. You know, it does taste more chemical, but there's an addiction to it that Americans have.
Oh yeah, the addiction. In a way, like, even it doesn't have a cocaine anymore, I feel like it does have, like, you know, in a name, it has it, and then like how we feel it, it's like very addictive.
Yeah, that's why a lot of our breads are sweet, and that's why a lot of our foods are really sweet, is because sugar is addictive. And it's a preservative.
Yeah, but
you know?
I've also, like, recently I've seen like homemade Coca-Cola. Not Coca-Cola, I mean like homemade Coke, you know.
I saw that, yeah.
I've never made it.
I mean, like it's homemade Coca-Cola-like drink.
Right, because the recipe of Coca-Cola isn't like available for anybody. Like, it's only knows like a few people, right?
A fun story about that.
Yeah.
I once read a story, I don't know how true it is, but I once read about a story of a Pepsi employee going to Coca-Cola and secretly finding out the secret recipe.
Oh my goodness, the spy.
Yeah, right, a spy. Maybe this person's in the Spy Museum in Washington, D.C. But no, so what happened was according to the story, he grabbed the recipe from Coca-Cola, brought it back to Pepsi, and Pepsi fired him and reported him to Coca-Cola.
Why?
Like, it was like so respectful.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, sorry, we're not interested in stealing.
Wow.
Like, even with that, like, fun rivalry that they have, you know, Halloween turned hero sort of thing, you know, like, it's still like they respect each other.
That's crazy. I thought like the spies like came from the Pepsi. I mean, like the Pepsi company made him to do that.
No.
But wow. That's
no,
crazy.
I mean, I don't know. Again, I don't know how true.
Yeah,
this is.
right.
And I read it years ago, so I don't remember the exact details and like how accurate it is and stuff like that. But that was the story that I read.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now I'm wanting that Coke, but I don't have it today with me.
Well, I don't think it's too late to go down the street to the gas station.
Maybe.
Well, thank you for sharing, and thank you to our listeners of this episode.
Thank you for the listeners. Yeah, let us know your favorite beverages.
Yeah, favorite soft drinks, favorite anything, you know, and just let us know what you think about the episode. You know, we are open for improvements, and we would love for you to tell us what you think. I'm
also interested in, if you're American listeners, let us know how you call the soft drinks.
Yeah.
Soda, pops, or Coke.
Absolutely. We'll take a poll if we get enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and we'll catch you next week. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, thank you for listening to our podcast. We get our publicity mainly from word of mouth, so make sure to tell your friends about us. If you have something you would like us to talk about, or just want to say hi, you can send an email to otsumamiparty@gmail.com. That is OTSUMAMI party@gmail.com. And please sign the email with the unique username.
Please let us know what you think of the podcast and where you are tuning in from as well, and we may mention it in our next episode. Tune in next week.
See ya.